Well, I'm just before Gotthard Pass here in the Swiss Alps, and before I say too much more, I just want to show you where I am right now. It's pretty fucking incredible, actually. So, I I started doing a hike from my campsite, which is just before the pass, at about 2,000 meters or so, and yeah, I pretty much got to this point here where the track is just turned into snow, and I can't really go any further. I was trying to get up to the top of that mountain up there, if you can see that, but it's all fogged over, and it's going to be impossible without any snow gear. And I've also climbed a few thousand meters today already, so I'm pretty tired, but really stoked. So I think I'm going to turn back here and head back to my little campsite. I'm going to free camp tonight next to Lake Lucendro, which is a place which is a kind of a bit off the trail, but Ursula and Philip, my warm showers host from a few days ago, um, recommended I camp there and kind of try and hike up to one of these mountains. And yeah, I think they're a bit more experienced mountaineers than me, because I don't think I can do it without ropes and snowshoes. So yeah, I'm going to turn back, but yeah, the campsite I've got is just freaking phenomenal. It's yeah, right on the lake. I'm just surrounded by these ice-capped mountains, the Alps. It's just amazing, and the whole day today has really been probably the best day of the whole trip. It's been absolutely stunning, and so much fun. So this morning, Natalia, sorry, and I we left together after last night. We had a nice dinner of fondue and a couple of white wines while we admired the view from her house. And then yeah, she decided that she was going to accompany me for the first part of today, climbing over the pass. So yeah, this morning we set off, and at the start there's a bit of a false start, because there's a part of the road where you can't cycle on, because there was an accident there, a car accident actually, a few weeks ago. So basically there's a free shuttle bus which you have to load your bike onto, and then that drives you a few kilometer up the road, and then you get off, and then you can start cycling. So we did that. We timed our departure to meet the shuttle, which was all good. There was a couple of other bike packers on the bus with us. One of them had a nice, really nice titanium bike with the bike packing gear on it, so she just shot off and we never saw her again. And the other guy left us in the dust pretty soon after that as well. But Natalia and I had a really nice ride, just so beautiful, like riding yeah, alongside the lake and the Alps just surrounding us. And then, you know, the further we went, you could start to see the mountains with the ice caps in the distance. And oh, I just took so many photos. I was just so stoked to see the ice on the mountains. I don't know what it is, but it's so awesome whenever you see that. And you know, now I'm completely surrounded by it, so you can tell why I'm so happy. And anyway, so we cycled for a few hours together. Basically, the first part of the ride was quite flat, so Natalia was happy to follow me, or to accompany me rather, for that first part. And it was really nice having her with me. It's always great having someone to ride with. So thanks Natalia for that, and yeah, thanks for everything really. Thanks for letting me stay at your place the last couple of days. Thanks for taking me on the hike yesterday. Thanks for helping me practice my Spanish. Thanks for the fondue and the wine. It's just been really awesome. Yesterday I took a bit of a rest day, so I think it was exactly what I needed to tackle this pass today. And the weather's just been just awesome. It hasn't rained at all. The sun has been shining, but it's been overcast a little bit, so it hasn't been too hot. And the clouds have cleared most of the day, so we've had really awesome views of the mountains. It's just been perfect. And we got to a town. I think it was Amsterdam. I'm gonna say that. It might not be that one, but I think it started with an AMS. And that's where Natalia kind of decided that she was gonna head back. And that's basically where it started to get quite steep. And so we said farewell, and she agreed to meet me in Scotland or the UK, wherever I'm going, and I'm going to come back and meet her in Switzerland at some point, I'm sure. And then I continued by myself, and I was really excited because I had been looking forward to climbing the Alps or crossing the Alps for the whole trip, and basically for a couple of years when I first had the idea of doing this trip. I've been kind of dreaming about crossing the Alps, and so it was just amazing. Like, even though it was one massive hill and it was probably I don't know, maybe 1,500 meters of climbing or something, I didn't mind it at all because I was so stoked to be there. First of all. Second of all, it's quite a gradual incline, so it was never really I was never really pedaling super hard to get up the hill. I just had to take it slow and kind of pace myself. And the whole time I could just see the mountains in the distance coming closer and closer. So I had this amazing view the whole time I was riding up, which was just a great motivation to keep going. And I had a few moments where I was getting a bit emotional, thinking that I had been dreaming about doing this for so long, for at least 2 years, I reckon. And I'm finally doing it. It's just such an amazing feeling, knowing that I crossed 8 or 9 countries, 8 countries to get here. I started in Norway and now I'm in Switzerland. I've traveled about 3,500 kilometers, something like that, and I've done it all under my own power. It's just freaking amazing, actually. And the amazing thing is that pretty much anyone can do it if you set your mind to it. So I'm just super stoked super stoked to be here. This little hike here has been really awesome as well. At the end of the day, I'm not sure if I'm feeling altitude sickness. I'm getting a little bit lightheaded. It's probably 2,500 meters at the moment, so I feel pretty good, but probably will start feeling something if I go any higher. And the track's just snowed in. I can't walk any further, so I'm gonna head back. But one more thing happened today. I had a weird interaction with a grizzly old bike tourer. So I was riding up the road, up the hill, to cross the pass, and there was a guy coming out of the hotel with his bike and all of his stuff, and I could tell just by looking at him he'd been touring for quite a while. It's probably in his 60s or something, and had a really old bike and all the budget gear and everything. And turns out he's been riding from Ireland and he's going to Kathmandu, which is pretty awesome. But the first thing he wanted to know was where I was staying, because he was saying everywhere that he had spoken to was too expensive or full. And so I had actually just passed a campsite just before, which is actually where I had lunch, and that was amazing having lunch there because I had a view of the mountains all to myself. And so I said, "Oh, you can go back. There's a campsite back there. Do you you can put your tent there and all that?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I don't have a tent." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well that makes it a bit hard then." He's like, "Oh no, it's actually much easier not having a tent." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then And then I was like, oh, actually, okay, I was told that there's a youth hostel in this town that we're in right now, actually. Maybe you could check that out. And he's like, oh, no, I could never stay in a youth hostel. You know, I would get way too bored staying in a youth hostel. And I was like, okay, well, you don't want to camp, you don't want to stay in a hostel, but everything else is too expensive, so I don't know how to help you, mate. And then he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like looking at my phone, and he's like, oh, look at you with your phone. Like, you should get rid of that thing. Like, you probably use that to look at pornography. And I'm like, all right, whatever, mate. And then I basically said, see ya, and I took off. And it's like, all right, yeah, I don't want to be like that guy, that's for sure. It's a shame, because he could have been a cool bike tourer, but I think he's been drinking the Kool-Aid maybe, and he's just gone off his rocker a little bit. Anyway, so that was a bit of a weird interaction, and but really that didn't really affect me too much, because I was too stoked to be here. So it's been yeah, I think it's the best day of the trip so far. I'm gonna head back to camp, as I've said a few times now. Set up my tent. Hopefully no one tells me to leave, because I'm not sure if it's in someone's property or not. Technically, I think you are allowed to wild camp here in Switzerland in the mountains, but I haven't tried yet, so I'll give it a crack and see what happens. Ursula and Philip assured me it would be fine, so I'm sure it will be. And yeah, maybe I'll take one of those LSA cabs and see what happens. Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow I'm actually going to cross the pass. Haven't done that quite yet, so there's a little bit of climbing in the morning, and then I'll shoot all the way down almost to Italy, and then I think I have a warm showers host lined up for tomorrow night, so that will be cool. And I think he's actually a guy who's unicycled around the world quite a bit, so it'll be really interesting to meet him and to talk to him. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to a really big descent tomorrow. It's going to be sick. So yeah, that's it. Look at this view. Fucking incredible. Alright, bye.